Uh, Whoa. All my Virgo people, welcome to the video. About to make this money and shoot it, ho. Yeah. What a little freestyle. But y'all, welcome to my Virgo season predictions 2026. Be in and out real quick on this video. Hope y'all doing good. August 25th. I'm in good energy. I'm in high vibe. Moon is in Aquarius right now. I like Aquarius energy, air energy. Good time to talk. The emotions probably gonna flow good. You know, Virgo season. Welcome all my Virgo people. Leos, we did our thing, but it's time to simmer down as we go to our Earth sign season. Welcome to Virgo. So this is my Virgo season predictions. Things I think we're gonna see within the news, within the people around us. On the macro, on the micro, you know, big, small, you know, things to pay attention to. All my people who know astrology, it's a subtle art, conscious, subconscious, right? Some people know consciously, some people can feel it subconsciously. So this video, I hope you have a better understanding, enlighten you. You know what I'm saying? That's what the sun goes. That's what the sun does. It goes through all these seasons, you know, around the zodiac wheel, and it shows you different parts of what you should be doing, different seasons, different time. You know, like the book of Ecclesiastes say, there's a time for everything under the sun. Paraphrasing, but there's a time for everything. I think that's a relation to the seasons, right? So let's get right into it. The number one thing we're going to see happen in the Virgo season predictions, you know, we're probably going to see a lot of food recalls and new food items, right? The reason why I say that, Virgo season is all about health, you know. And then it's the year of Genesis also as Virgo season. The book of Genesis, one of the main thing about Genesis was eating what we ate, fall of Adam and Eve, the fruit, the eating, the land was cursed. So I think we're going through that time right now. A lot of people are knowing that a lot of these food things in America are not good, or they're gonna push that because they need us to vibe low. I said this multiple times. You can't listen to everything you see on the news. You gotta listen to the good news of the Lord, right? The good news is different than the bad news. So the bad news is gonna try to, for lack of better terms, manipulate you, put these negative vibes in the world, a little bit of broadcasting, witchcraft casting over spells, you know, making you think all these foods are bad. Once you're in agreement with that in Virgo season, you're not in agreement with your own body and your own self. So you're probably going to see more stories about this happening with foods, farms, farmers, things food related, right? Which is a trine to Taurus season, earth sign season. Eating from the earth, food ultimately comes from the earth. Virgo being the earth sign, we have that trine with Taurus energy. Taurus, all my Taurus people are naturally known as foodies. So I think one of the biggest stories you'll start seeing in Virgo is health related things from food. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to your health, you know. And also, you know, all things health related, you know, is the number one thing for Virgo season you're going to see. Don't be surprised if you see more stories about COVID coming back out, people dying from COVID, and the stories surrounding that, as we did see a little bit of truth hint at that in Leo season with the Fauci and the Plead, the fifth house, which was funny. We were in the fifth house season, so we had that energy happen, right? So then, you know, you're in that time and you're in that season of when health is on your mind, because, you know, Leo, you get active, you're in the sun, you're running, you got people pleading the fifth line. Now you kind of slow down earth, you pay attention to the small details, and you might hear small little truths and details about COVID. So don't be surprised if that happens. I just think that's going to happen, you know. And we might hear more stories on the positive side about things working out. More recently with NBA players, there's a story coming out about Luka Doncic being more in shape. Luka, skinny Luka to fit Luka to almost prime looking Luka right now. So you're going to hear more stories on the positive side too, you know, because at the same time, the news stations, they try to keep out positive stories, but at the same time, these things leak through based on the matrix still falling in a way, still duality here. So you got to know how to see the good with the bad at all times, if you ask me. So we're going to hear stories about maybe NBA players getting more in shape. Shout out to Luka, right? Just shout out to even Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey, LeBron James, the Sixers players, a couple Pelicans players, KD always in the lab. So we're going to see more stories of people ramping up like that. Even my players, high school players, college players, elementary players that I know, you know, it's a good time to start taking your health and workout routines more serious in Virgo season as we fine tune to the start of NBA, high school, and basketball season resetting, you know. Also with health, I think the number one thing I want to say prediction is health stories, okay? Virgo, you know, COVID, you know what I'm saying, food recalls, and even just freak injuries. You know, back to the NBA players on this Shaden Sharp, we don't know what happened, but he just tore his ACL or meniscus the other day, like on the first day of Virgo season. Virgo's at 2 degrees right now, so we're just starting up. We're just at the tip end of Virgo, you know, just starting up these stories. So you might see stories like that come out with other athletes, maybe baseball athletes, but watch out for freak injuries. Pray over that. Speak life over yourself that God covers you in the season of Virgo when you're not hearing no, like, you know, viral injuries. You know what I'm saying? Number 2, the thing you're going to hear about in Virgo season, my second prediction is money inflation, money value, and service value. Once again, Virgo is about service to others. So once again, Virgo does deal with health. But at the same time, the thing about health and the thing about having a healthy body, that builds on the service, right? The service providers. You're going to hear more stories about food service workers. You're going to hear more stories about like athletic trainers, people behind the scenes, right? So if we go from Leo to Virgo, Leo has that moniker of being a fire sign, bold, courageous, star of the show. I'm a lion, I'm bold, I'll roar, get our way. You know, all the signature cliche Leo things, which can be true, right? There is some truth to cliche things, right? But like Virgo is going to teach you the behind the scenes people, like the nutritionists that help NBA players get ready, right? The assistant coaches, right? A lot of time the head coaches get more of a Leo treatment spotlight. I'm the head coach, but there's assistants, there's trainers, there's counselors, there's GMs, there's presidents, right? And we're going to probably see more stories about that coming to light, like the money and value involved in that, and even how much these people may get paid, or how financial advisors play a good role into sports. So think about more money and service, because the more services you can provide to people and you're good at your service, the more money you can get, right? We might even hear more stories about barbers, nurses, post people, right? These people are the unsung heroes of our day-to-day life, right? Food service workers, nurses, cameraman, TV camera production man, all the people on TNT that's not Charles and Kenny's and Chuck's, you know, the Shaqs of the world, the people that's behind them on TNT. So we might start to hear stories of that, you know. New jobs and new hustles for people, right? If you're a person that's trying to get more money, you know, we might hear people coming out with new side hustles right now. More people naturally might start feeling like, how can I create more money? Me as an astrologer, I'm always looking for new clients. Me as a basketball coach and trainer, I'm always looking for new people to coach, get into their mindsets. The money is here and there, up and down, but when you're really providing service for people, I think the best way to achieve that, especially Virgo season, is that you focus on providing a good service, right? And then you create your business off value and reputation, right? So these are the type of predictions I think we're going to see in this season. Even people moving more towards that, you know, maybe asking for more hours at work. Pay attention to how your job can be offering you more hours, taking more hours, switching up. If you're a person who wants to make a big dent in the business world of your life, it goes back to working out and health. Like I said at the beginning, health and working out and service, all these things are intertwined and built Legos stacked on each other in Virgo season. So you get what I'm saying? Like, you can definitely get the service aspect of working out and health, right? You eat good, you work out good, you have good mental too, you know? Think about mental health too. Might hear stories about mental health come out right now, how foods can affect your mental health. Working out, going for a run, playing basketball can work on mental health, things like this. So these are stories I expect to see in Virgo season, you know? Just quick predictions. So, you know, stories about the stock market too. Watch your money, use your money wisely also. You know, a lot of people might have had ups and downs this year, me included. Virgo season is a good time to get a budget, switch up your budget. drink water, fast, you know, whatever you got to do to switch up your routine to have more money you can use to service yourself, to service others, right? To make things around you better, right? And me as even a basketball trainer and coach, right? Maybe switching up some of my coaching techniques, some of my drills, right? Adding more drills, adding more reps, things like this in Virgo. How can I service my basketball players in the community better, you know? As I take a shot at my Dragonberry. All right. Last but not least, the last prediction, number 3 prediction I have, we're going to see death in these service industries, death in the medical field, right? So a little morbid here, a little bit on a different side, you know, a lot of that was positive for Virgo, but a little bit of the negative of Virgo. You might see a lot of people messing up in these industries, right? A lot of food service workers not being up to code, right? A lot of doctors and nurses and practitioners. Shout out to the COVID scam. Go watch my previous videos, COVID scams and Leo Hollywood truths and things like that. A lot of truth is a lot of people aren't on code. A lot of people aren't focused. A lot of people aren't locked in. Shout out to Virgo, thinking about the small attention to details, right? Ruled by Mercury. So one hand on Mercury, you can overthink, but the other hand on Mercury, you can be precise and on point, and your overthinking isn't overthinking. It's called being meticulous and going over the fine print, as they say in contractual talks. So things like that could come out, which lead to death, malpractice, a lot of exposure in these fields, exposure, scandals coming out. You know, and it's funny, we had a story come out the other day. Like I say, coaching is just like servicing people, treating people right. And there was a coach for the 49ers came out involved in a prostitution ring. So, you know, a lot of truth coming out in these industries that are kind of servicing people behind the fields, behind the scenes, right? Don't be surprised if doctors start getting exposed, nurses start getting exposed. Some of these prominent nurses or doctors come up dead. Administering the wrong medicine, malpractice get exposed in some of these hospitals, clinics, construction worker things, foundation of things, anything that's kind of like a behind the foundation thing, right? Car manufacturers, car recalls might be starting happening too. I just thought about that. So, or death in the mechanic industries and cars falling on people, right? That's the dark side of Virgo, is that when you're not paying attention to details, injuries can happen. Like I said, NBA players overusing things like that the wrong way. Even let's say spiritual reasons, right? You're not prayed up. A lot of people going through mental health crisis, mental issues can come up right now. Death because of that, right? Weird and odd deaths that's unexplainable based on not having the right spiritual service workers. And shout out to pastors, right? They service people spiritually. Shout out to astrologers. I like to say we service people in the spiritual and mental realm. So sometimes not being aligned with the right people can be exposed in Virgo season, not having the right support on your team, or you're not supporting your team in the right way, you know? So that is why attention to details is a thing. So not to make this too long, we're almost 13, 14 minutes in. So I just want to say, that's my Virgo season predictions for 2026. You know what I'm saying? Pretty plain and simple. You know, don't be surprised, especially if you hear a reprise of that COVID shit coming back out, you know. Even if you hear some lawsuits about AI, how AI is not really servicing people in the right way, it's being exploited. So, you know, also pay attention to school stories surrounding schools too. I want to say that too. You know, watch out for teachers getting exposed in this season. The ultimate service energy supposed to be servicing the kids in the community. Watch out for teachers getting exposed, laundering the teachers, things like that. So the devil is in the details. The devil is in the pudding. That's Virgo season. You know, I'll be back with a more in detail Virgo video and some other Virgo stories and how we can talk about that. So right now, hope you guys get ready for this season. Pay attention to the details, you know, go over things twice. It's Mercury season rule. Try not to overthink, but practicality wins the race this season right now. And if you want astrology work, tap in with me. Vibe. I'll see you guys in the next video.